Hey, it's Tanya here. I'm in the studio. I dressed up for you. Can you tell? I want to share something with you today and I'm so excited. I tried this for the very first time. So basically, I'm going to share it with you for the second time only. So let's hope it works. But let me show you what it is first. I made this today. I make these quite often, but this is the best it has ever come out with this method that I've tried for the very first time. Usually it's so difficult to keep these very straight, flat in the middle, and to have it, because sometimes it goes like too thin in here, or it's bumpy. It's never totally smooth. And today, this is the best it's ever come out. I'm so excited to share this with you as well. I make these a few different ways. I have made them a few different ways. I've made it where I've put a slab through a slab roller and put it on the wheel. It's a bit of a cheat. And then added a ring or pulled up the sides. And it works. It doesn't really look totally thrown, to be honest with you. Or I've had it where I've thrown this part on the wheel and it's not like 100% flat to me. And I've extruded a tube, or a coil should I say, sorry, and added it to it and thrown it up. And even that isn't always the best. But this, like I say, it's the first time I've tried it today, and I'm so excited to share this with you. It came out, look how perfectly flat that is. I'm excited. So let me go to the wheel and I'll show you what I did. Okay, so here I am at the wheel. Remember, this is the second time I've done this, so let's hope it wasn't a fluke the first time and it works again. I've thrown 4 pounds of clay here. So it's a bit of a mound, and it isn't dead straight. Trust me, you'll see it when it turns. So let me get it a bit wet and we'll get going with this. I mean, as you can see, look how it's bouncing. Even when I put my sponge on there, you can see how it's bouncing. So what I did, this is what I did for the first time today. I took my rolling pin. Now this is my savior here. I took my rolling pin, but don't hold the handles because you don't want it to actually spin. So hold the actual wood as if it's a long piece of wood. And push down in the center. And trust me, you push down pretty firm, to be honest with you. It's not light. So let me wet this so it doesn't stick to the clay. As you can see, I just made it nice and wet. And I've made this wet. So now I'm going to push it down as best as I can. And firm. Remember, don't hold the handles. Hold the wood only. So as it's spinning, I'm letting it spin first. As you can see, it's bouncing. I mean, if you look at my hands, look how that's bouncing. But now I want it to be as smooth as possible. So let's give it a try. So straight down. As you can see, I'm going, and I press down and I go slightly out. As you can see, some clay has formed on there. Just take that off. And obviously this will take a few times. And I just went round with it again. Trust me, I'm doing this really loosely here. But you'll be very happy how it comes out. I'm so excited. Okay, so here we go again. It's nice and wet. Hold the wood, push down. I'm pushing down and I'm moving ever so slightly. Try it again. I'm just going to turn it the other way. As you can see, it's already coming flatter. Now I know that with these pieces that I make, I want it to come almost to the end of the wheel, and I'm going to lift up the sides. So it's all one piece, but look how smooth it is already. Look there, my hand isn't even jumping. I'm really happy about this. Okay, so I'm going to do one last time. Let's make it wet. I'm going to take this clay off of here because that's just going to accumulate. trying to take this off as quick as possible so I don't waste your time. Okay, so there we go. Okay, one last time. Remember, hold just the wood. If this was a little bit longer, it probably would be better, because I do get a slight bit of this groove in here because of how wide I've made this. But it's working perfectly fine, because this is all I have in the studio. Okay, there you go, I'm pushing it down. Perfect. Look how flat that is. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. Really am excited about this. So now, okay, you can give it one stretch with the rib and your sponge. Now the edge is never going to be totally perfect. As you can see, it's like a little bit of a lump over here. You know, as you can see, it's a little bit skewed there. So take your needle tool, and we'll smooth off the edge right now. So we take off the needle tool, and let's get a piece here. Okay, so let's get rid of that piece. Okay, so now our rim is beautifully straight. Now I'm going to take a rib, any rib really, but I just took our usual little yellow rib because it's a firm rib, and I put it just under the rim, because I want to lift it now. So I'm going to lift it. Okay, a bit of clay is accumulating, so I'm going to lift it slowly. There's no rush. As you can see, it's starting to lift. As you can see. Now you could stop at this point and have a beautiful flat plate or platter. It's quite big. This is the size of the bat. But I want my walls to be dead straight. That's the look I'm going for on these pieces. So I still carry on with this. I can actually use a wooden rib if I want to now. And I'm carrying on, just pushing. As you can see, it's going nice and straight. Now, this is a little bit wider than I'd like. So I actually now can pull up the sides a little bit. So let's do that. We pull up the sides. Just a bit, because you still want it quite firm. Okay, so now I'm taking my square rib, because it's got a 90-degree angle. So I can have nice straight walls perpendicular to the back. And it's smoothing the wall at the same time. Okay, now, just to get this nice and clean here, take my needle tool again and put it in just a little bit under, so I can get a nice straight edge. So I push it in. Basically, I'm just cutting the edge off. Sometimes it comes off in a neat one. That's better. Okay, and now I just want to smooth the rim. This is my little synthetic chamois. They work great. They are so smooth, and they're great for rims and things like that. So I'm just going to smooth the rim. I'll come back and neaten it later, you know, if I need to do anything. But this is basically it. As you can see, nice and flat, nice and straight, the sides. And then what I do, I use this. This was given to me years ago. I don't even know where they got it, but they didn't like it, so of course I took it. It's made of plastic perspex or something, but it's got, if you can see, just a nice point. So I put this at the base of the of the piece, and it creates that kind of an angle, you know, an angle like that. So your piece looks lifted off the bat, and I know a lot of people don't like it when a piece looks like it's just flat on the piece, on the table. You want it to look lifted. Even if it's the same weight as another piece, it'll always look lighter because it's lifting, floating above the table. So I use this. It's fantastic. So I just put it in there, underneath. As you can see, it's taking off a big wad of clay. And I do it a few times, and I neaten it. You know, I can neaten it with my rib again to make it straight. Okay, what I always do, once I've got this neat and I've got it almost to how I want it finished, I get my ball tool. Sorry, this has just been used, so it's a bit dirty. So I get the ball tool, and I like to just make a spiral in the middle. I like my pieces, I like people to know that I've thrown it. So by doing that little spiral, it gives the look that it has been thrown. That's all it is, and it looks pretty to me anyway. So I just push the piece in and pull it away as the wheel's turning. So I push it in the center, and then push it out. Just so it looks like a nice spiral. Then I neaten that up with a sponge. And sometimes, I did this quite deep this time, so I don't have to go over it. But sometimes I go over it. And that's it. Perfectly straight. I am so happy this worked. And I'm happy it worked for the second time in front of you guys. I didn't make a fool of myself. But all it is your rolling pin. And I'm sure most of you have a rolling pin anyway in your studio. So just use that. Remember to wet it down, so it doesn't stick to the piece because it is turning. I hope this actually works for you, because I am so happy. This is how I'm going to do it in future. This is really a lifesaver for me. Thank goodness. I'm so glad I actually tried it. Well, that was one of my first online videos on YouTube, learning along with you in the studio. I hope you liked it. I hope you learned something from it. Here's the final piece. I really am happy about this. I hope you did learn something, and I hope you want to carry on following me. You know what they say with YouTube? Subscribe, comment, like, follow, the whole toot. You know the thing. It really is new to me, so help me along. We can do this together, and I really do appreciate your consistent support. Thanks. Remember to subscribe. Cheers.